If your brand or company is in the middle of a crisis, please stay tuned and watch this video. I'm Jay. I'm one of the co-founders of Otter PR, one of the largest digital PR firms on the East Coast. We deal in crisis management every day, and I've also been the victim of a crisis at one point. Now, in this video, we're going to cover some of the most common mistakes that people and brands encounter during the case of a crisis. And believe me, if even one of these lessons sticks, it's going to be eternally valuable for preserving the reputation of yourself or of your company. So let's get started with tip number one when you're in a crisis. And that is, the first thing you need to know is don't lie. One of your first instincts might be to stretch the truth or to blame an external factor. Believe me, once a crisis really escalates and blows up, everybody and their mom is going to want to pitch in information and try and catch you in a lie. Do not let them. Do not lie. Don't try and make something up. Don't try and blame something on your friend or another company or one of your employees, or even stretch the truth, because believe me, it's going to come to light and it's going to exponentially worsen your situation. So when you're in the middle of a crisis, don't lie. The second piece of advice and mistake that we see people make very commonly is their first instinct is to defer responsibility or blame ignorance or naivety. Typically the case when you see celebrities or millionaires get caught in a racist comment or doing something that they weren't aware was racially or culturally insensitive, and they'll say, "I didn't know," or "How can you expect me to know that?" And that is not the right response. That's not the position that you're going to want to take. In the event of a crisis, you're really going to want to assume 100% responsibility. There's no one to blame. You can't believe naivety or ignorance. What you're going to do is accept complete responsibility. The entire situation is your fault and nobody else, and it is because of your own incompetence, your own lack of knowledge. And then that follows my next point is, what are you going to do to fix it, to get better? Whether it's alcoholism and you're going to go to rehab and really get yourself together, or it was a racially insensitive comment that you made 5 years ago. How are you going to educate yourself so that the mistake doesn't repeat itself? And how are you going to then contribute to the ongoing cause of the issue? For example, a very common stance that brands and people take when caught in a racially or culturally insensitive comment is to then go ahead and donate to an organization that benefits that group, as well as educating yourself so that you cannot claim naivety or ignorance ever again. The point is to make certain that the audience knows and that you know, because you're actually taking responsibility for this too, that you're really trying to get better, improve yourself, and it's not going to happen again. The third piece of advice, and this is typically when we get called, a catastrophe's happened, there is a crisis in the business or the company, and they're being attacked from all angles. Twitter, Instagram, emails, phone calls. It is a nightmare and it's all around you, and your first instinct is going to be to try and defend yourself and all of these different media outlets and channels at which you're getting the incoming fire. And that is the wrong thing to do. More often than not, you're going to end up saying something to further incriminate yourself because you're not thinking clearly. You're in a state of high stress. You're going to be typing and saying things very quickly that you can't remember that you said. And now that's record. People are going to go ahead and throw it into the fire. You're adding fuel to the fire. So if you catch yourself or your company in the middle of one of these, bombardments of crisis that happens more often than we'd like to think nowadays, especially with Twitter and social media bringing it even closer together, really letting people rally against you. It's important to know exactly how to respond, and the right response is to step back and don't say anything. Find a professional to help guide every communication that comes out of your mouth from that point forward. All it takes is one wrong thing to say, and it's fuel in the fire. It could be the nail in your coffin. So if you find yourself in the middle of a crisis, or even have done something that you think could end up in a crisis, my main piece of advice is to find a professional agency such as Otter or a publicist that has extreme extreme experience in crisis management to help guide you through the experience. It can make it much faster, less painful on your bottom line, and you'll end up being a better company and a better person because of it. So with that being said, if you do find yourself in a crisis, you're probably going through the mindset that you're the only one, that the world is revolving against you and people are evil and they're trying to take everything you've built away. And there's some truth to that, but also the other truth is that this happens more than once a day to companies, brands, and people all over the world. And it's just a factor of reality that we have to live with now, especially with social media. It really lets people kind of gang mentality up against you and up against your company. So it's important to know that you're not alone. And there's a whole team and there's a whole profession built to help you deal with this situation and get through it and get you to a point where it never happens again. So again, I'm Jay, we're Otter PR, we're here for you. I hope this video was helpful. If it was, please subscribe for more information like this and hit that bell notification so you know when we post things. Also be sure to follow us on social media, and if you are interested in either crisis management services, media services, or just want to talk with a publicist, give us a call. You can book on our website, and we look forward to talking with you. It was great being here with you today. I hope we were able to guide you through your crisis, and I'll talk to you soon.